Alright, hi guys. I told Mike over at VX Tuning that I would do a review for his fog light lenses that he's been developing. So just want to let you guys know this is basically what you get. Get a box, pretty well packaged, pretty, fairly sturdy box. Once you open it up, it's well packaged, lots of foam in there, and then you wind up getting a new set of lenses with them. So that part's pretty nice, and I just wanted to cover some of the basics with it. First of all, the old lenses, when you go to take them out, once you get them out, you're going to notice that there's white sealant, and basically what that does is make the lens look a little bit bigger, so it fills out the frame better to match with the turn signals. If you want it to look OEM, go with another white sealant. I picked up this stuff at Home Depot. It's a Loctite marine grade adhesive sealant. It's supposed to be white. Apparently Lowe's and Home Depot and Amazon carry this. Or maybe there's better options, but this is what I wound up getting. There's a close-up view for it, and also a close-up view for the white sealant that you can see that still is left over from where I took out the OEM lens that was broken. If you go and buy used fog lights, make sure the reflectors are still good, or else you're going to have another issue with trying to get them replaced or re-chromed or whatever you can do. In general, if the lenses are totally busted out and the weather's getting at the reflector, they're not going to be good anymore. So be mindful of that. Don't go buy lenses and put them on to something that doesn't deserve it. What I wanted to cover was some of the differences when you go and buy different alternatives to the OEM glass. This is a OEM fog light. It's about the best one that I had on hand. It's not in too bad a shape, but basically if you get into the lens, you can see it's got the Hello logo here. It has an E1 marking, made in Germany. A few other markings on the bottom, like a part number or whatnot. Basically there's a lot more markings on here than I even realized. I'm not sure I'm loving them now that I look at it with all the markings, only because when I compare it to the VX glass, it doesn't have nearly as many markings. It has a very small VXT logo in the corner, almost very difficult to see, but it's there. Let's see, that is the correct, that's this size. It's the same size, same side as the one I'm holding up, so you get a good idea for the clarity on it. It's lacking all the other markings, which is kind of nice. I think it's just going to be a cleaner look, and even though some of us prefer to have the OEM stuff, in this case, in my opinion, this is probably something I prefer to even the OEM with the Hella and all the other markings on there. It's just a little bit cleaner. Okay, this is a rally lens. Some of us have used these things over the years to try to fit them into the OEM housings. I believe, I don't remember if I've done this before or not, it just might have been too long, but yeah, so you have to file them down a little bit, you have to grind them down a little bit to make them even fit inside of the housing. These lenses have a bunch of different markings on them. They say Rally on them. They have a bunch of different things over here. It says top and SAE over here. The lens itself is clearer than the OEM stuff, so you see through to the reflector more, which I don't personally like. It doesn't have enough fluting, I believe it's called, to kind of frost out some of the reflector in the back. I do have an example of that here. This isn't the best shaped one, but you get the idea. This one has been placed inside the housing. This came on a car that I picked up at one point. It fits in there. It kind of does the job, maybe better than broken lenses, but also there was a write-up done on Vortex. I can't remember the name. I know Uriah did it, but any which way, if you start checking out the differences in the light output with this lens compared to the OEM lens, and I think he did another lens or two, the cutoffs and stuff aren't nearly as nice, so it does seem to matter what lens is on there. Yeah, this functions, but it doesn't look as good in my opinion. The lens itself, even though you have to trim some of the outside edges, it doesn't fill out correctly if you compare it to an OEM lens. See, the OEM one fills out this whole bottom lip here. I can stick, you know, my finger under here without any problem, all the way around almost. On the OEM one, you cannot do that, and it just fills out the space better. And it's hard to tell, but once you put the turn signal in this part next to a rally lens, the turn signal looks taller. It looks like it fills this out properly, and the rally lens doesn't. That's the problem with the rally lens beyond the output, beyond anything else. That's the biggest issue to me. Whereas if you go with the OEM and you put the turn signal back in, these lines all match up perfectly, and it just makes everything, the fit and finish, look correct, like it should be. So the rally lens was an okay option at one point. It did the job, but it wasn't really something I was ever too interested in personally. I do have some, but it's just a Band-Aid type fix. It was better than something cracked and broken. Something I picked up a while ago, which I believe are also supposed to maybe fit decently. These are Bosch lenses. Again, they're not quite the same. You know, you'd have to, you know, either retrofit this entire thing into the housing or get the lens off and then fit them on. These are going to be probably closer to the OEM stuff because it is a Bosch lens. It is a little more squared off. It doesn't have like the same lip as the Rally lens. So these are going to be maybe the next best option. But you can see just physically there's a difference in the size of the lenses. These are just, you know, Band-Aid fixes. They don't really fit, but they're better than cracked lenses, so that's why people have used them. So anyway, these are just some of the different options I've had over time. But anyway, now that we have an option from VX Tuning, Mike over there, he's been really awesome to deal with. Really nice guy, been super helpful with anything, and you know, he started out with Mark IV stuff, and as far as I know, and that's kind of where I started talking to him. And somewhere along the way, he decided he was going to help out Corrado owners, and that's always nice for us. So anyway, this is my first time actually fitting the VX Tuning lens into the housing. Prior to this, I cleared out the glass and, you know, took some of the old sealant out, but fit in there, no problem whatsoever. I know, you know, Mike has already pre-checked this and all. It's not like, you know, will it fit or not? We knew it would fit, but this is the first time I fit them in there. It fits in there perfectly. It fills the gaps in again. The fluting is nice. It's got enough clarity so it looks nice and clean. It doesn't have all these extra add-on writings that I really would prefer not to have, in all honesty. And even the Hella logo I thought was a little bit smaller in my head, but now that I'm seeing it in person, yeah, I haven't looked at these things in forever. But now that I'm looking at them, you know, the Hella logo is kind of oversized as well. This logo just disappears in the fluting. You don't see it. This option looks better to me than the OEM option. So just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on them. You know, I think they're really well made. I think they're definitely worth the money personally. I'm going to buy a couple sets. I've got a few sets of cracked lenses that have been needing something that really was going to work out nicely. So VX Tuning lenses, they're $150 a set. You know, I don't know if the pricing will change or not, but at least for right now, that's what they're being sold for. And you can get in touch with Mike. His last name is, I'm going to probably butcher it, but it's Ojeda or Ojeda or something to that effect. But he's been on the boards. You guys have seen him on Facebook and whatnot in the user group. So get with him, you know, get an order together, and they'll look really good when you're done. I think it's definitely worth the money. Get your fog lights back together. Can't even get them new anymore, so you might as well get them working, functioning, usable, that kind of thing. 150 bucks, VX Tuning. Go talk to Mike. And if you have any other questions, I'm going to post this video up on the thread about it, and then you guys can ask there, and Mike will chime in there. Have a good one. Thanks.